we could be alone between city lights. We don't have to hide. I wanna go, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? I can't understand why we can't hold hands, but they don't know what we have is real love. Aren't you sick and tired of having to hide? I know a place, do you wanna follow? There's something in the air, I can't explain it, but it's there. Ain't nobody gonna find us in our secret love affair. I don't wanna have to hide no more, it shouldn't be unfair. I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow? Do you wanna follow? Baby, do you wanna follow? Come with me, do you wanna follow? Baby, can't you see that? I wanna go, and I wanna know, do you wanna follow?
Whoa! Hello! Oh! Wow, I'm here! I'm back! It's so weird. I can't believe I haven't had a technical issue yet. Ah! Now I'm going to do that thing where I freeze up and pretend to be having a technical issue. Oh, my God. How long has it been? Has it been it's been like a month. Ah! Oh. Oh. Oh, yeah. It's good to be back. It's good to be back with you guys. It's good to be back with you, Blunty. Blunty, you here?
Yeah. How's it going?
Oh, it's good. It's good. Oh, man. I don't even know what to do. Just soak it up, right?
Yeah. I don't know if Chad knows what to do. Nobody's asking any questions either. So we got to get back in everybody's got to get back in the swing of thing.
We got to get back in the swing. Oh, answering questions, talking about news. I don't know. Is that what we do here? Get the super chats. Blunty, is the queuing up of things working for you, Blunty?
Seems like, seems to be good to go.
Was I nervous? Asks Mike Bergman. Mike, good to see you, my friend. Fabio Pansera, my editor in the chat, for the big return to the streaming. Oh. And so far, it's all going smoothly. Amazing. I was only nervous in that I assumed like OBS would have forgotten all of my audio settings and something would be like, not only has nothing effed up yet, fingers crossed, I am actually streaming in H265 HEVC. instead of H.264, which is a new feature that YouTube is offering and OBS is offering. So you should be getting just a little better video quality. How about that? Paul Murphy has a question. By the way, if you guys are new here, and given how long I've been gone, you might think this was my first stream. If you guys are new here, oh, hold on. Oh, there we go. Even that worked smoothly. If you guys are new here, feel free to ask questions here in the chat. My good friend and co-host, producer, call screener, whatever we want to call him, it's Blunty, will queue the questions up. He's already doing it. If you want to leave a super chat, hit the $ down at the bottom of the screen and leave a super chat, and I will definitely read those. That's what we do here, though. You ask questions, I answer the questions, and so on. The first question will be from Paul Murphy, who asks, why did you leave us? Why? Wait, is that going? Did it pop in right? Paul, pop in. There we go. Why did you leave us? I wish I could tell you guys I was on vacation. Sometimes I go away on trips and people say, well, hope you're enjoying your vacation. And I'm like, F you. You'd like me to take a vacation, wouldn't you? Sometimes I get interesting opportunities to do interesting things, oftentimes in exchange for money. And as much as I love being home and sleeping in my own bed and seeing my family, and I do love those things, as much as I love those things, and of course making content and being here, sometimes those opportunities are too good to pass up. And this was one of those situations. But I'm back now. Yeah, why did it take so long to train the AI deepfake? If I had an AI deepfake, I would let it keep streaming, and I would go do my things. Well, we're back. Fabio has an opinion about he thinks the background looks a little less blocky. Yeah, so this is the exact same bit rate, 4 megabits per second, exactly the same bit rate, still streaming at 1080p, which is not the best for YouTube, but we're using HEVC H.265 instead of H.264, so it should be a little better. And if I only had a 4000 series card, I could use AV1 encoding, but I only have a 3080 that I used to be hot shit. Having a 3080 used to be hot shit, but not anymore, right, Blunty?
Depends on who you ask. Yeah.
You know why I said that.
Yes, I do.
Blunty was just telling me about his upgraded computer. See, the thing that Blunty wants to do is to be able to play Tarkov in one window while Rushing Fishing Simulator is running in the other window. That's why I was like, why?
And I can successfully do that now.
Because see, Rushing Fishing Simulator, you just sit there for 15, 20 minutes waiting for a bite on your line. I don't know who decided this was a good idea for a video game to make it just as boring as real life. So you can play Tarkov while you're waiting for a nibble. No. How many hours are you up to, Blunty?
In Russian Fishing?
Yeah.
Oh, at this point, I'm not even sure.
It's a lot. People are impressed that you play Tarkov. You any good?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have like 1,300 hours in Tarkov, something like that.
Oh, Jesus.
I've been playing for many years, so.
Yeah. Well, there you go. And nobody else out there plays Russian Fishing Simulator, though. Everybody's impressed with Tarkov. There you go. All right, folks. I'm so glad to be back. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, of course. I'm not saying bye-bye. It sounds like I'm signing off. Thank you, of course, to my patrons in the Discord. You guys are my rock. And by my rock, I mean the thing I rely on to pay my rent. Oh, Blunty. Black Jungle's coming at you tonight. You better watch out. We're going to take some questions. We've got a bunch of questions queued up, and we're going to begin with this question from Dirty Rex. I was going to, but I've forgotten how to use my... There we go. This is actually a super chat. Usually wait a little while to do super chats, but I'm out of practice. Thank you for a $5 super chat, Dirty Rex. Would you recommend a 3-inch or a 5-inch for those that are ready to switch from sim to live? Dirty Rex, I think that 3 inches and 5 inches are both good. I think if you are experienced in the simulator enough that you can basically fly a quadcopter, then there's no reason for you to hold back from going to a 5-inch. I've taught a lot of people to fly. And what I find is that if you make sure that they are competent in the simulator, then it's fine for them to go straight to 5-inch. They are just as competent in when they go to 5-inch as they are in the sim. Maybe a little less. Like sometimes people can do like tricks in the simulator and they don't have the confidence to do those tricks in real life. But the gist of it, the flying safely, right? And that's what we're concerned mostly about is safety. It's the same. So if someone got competent in the sim to the point where they could fly around basically without crashing too much. And the other thing I look for when I'm graduating somebody from the sim to real life is the ability to recover. Like they start to get out of control and then they kind of get it back. And I go, okay, you're good to go. Once they're ready to go, I move them to a 3-inch, I move them to a 5-inch. I don't really care. It just depends on what they're looking for. If you're excited about 5-inch racing or 5-inch freestyle, you go straight to a 5-inch. If you go straight to a 5-inch and you get careless, the consequences will be worse than with a 3-inch. So you have to decide how you feel about that, but there's no reason to hold back. 3 inches, they're going to be smaller, they're going to be quieter, they may be cheaper, especially if you go to something really durable. You can usually get more durability out of a 3-inch than a 5-inch, although that's not universal. So there are some reasons to pick a 3-inch or a 5-inch, but those reasons are going to be the same reasons you would pick a 3-inch or a 5-inch anyway. The fact that you're like, you don't need to do like from sim to 3-inch, then to 5-inch as some sort of artificially enforced graduation protocol. So that's how I would take that. 3-inch is really fun. A 3-inch like the Tiny Trainer is really fun. A 3-inch like a Cinewhoop, like the Cinebot 3.0 is really nice and durable. Doesn't fly as well. A 5-inch is great. It just depends on what you want. Let's see here. Matty O wants to know what foam I'm running on my walk snail goggles. Matty O, let's double check this real quick. Where are my walk snail goggles? Where are my walk snail goggles? Are they in here? I think they're in here. Oh, yay! I didn't lose my walk snail goggles. Isn't that nice? My DJI V2s. It goes back in there. I still haven't completely unpacked from traveling. The walk snail goggle foam. It is the DJI goggle foam. And it's too big for the walk snail goggles, but it's just kind of crammed on there. It's the DJI goggle foam. I don't like actually recommend this. But it worked for me. There you go. It's aftermarket DJI goggle foam. Let's see here. Dan Williams. Good question, Dan. How do I set up EdgeTX to have no heli and EU? I've seen the checkboxes in Companion. Does that change the firmware to EU mode in the TX? So Dan Williams, those checkboxes in Companion only change what firmware is downloaded. When you download firmware, they do not change the functioning of your radio. As far as I know, those checkboxes in EdgeTX Companion don't have an effect, if they're there at all, because the way OpenTX works is they have a cloud build service where you check the boxes and then it downloads a build for your radio. I think maybe they pre-compile them. I don't know. But EdgeTX, I believe that they are not doing all those options. There's just one compiled build of EdgeTX that you get. And so as far as the no heli option goes, I don't think any of my EdgeTX radios show that heli screen. So I assume that they're all compiled with no heli. Yeah. As far as the EU option is only going to matter if you have, I don't know. I mean, I guess some people run EdgeTX on a FreeSky radio. I'm not sure about that. I don't think, though, that EdgeTX has the ability to download customized option firmware and flash them. Whenever you flash EdgeTX, whenever I flash EdgeTX, it just flashes whatever default options it wants to flash. And so if you're using EdgeTX, I don't think you have the option to change those things. Is my take. I'm looking now at the chat to see if bye Fabio, to see if anybody's disagreeing with me. No one is. Let's see. People are recommending. I'd like to try this. I'm still looking for the best foam for my DJI goggles. This looks pretty good, actually. Maybe I'll buy this and try it out. I still haven't found, like, the perfect foam for my DJI goggles. This looks pretty good, actually. Oh, I like that. That looks exciting. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll try that one out. It's a good suggestion. Let's see here. Okay, I got to take those out of the queue. Wait, it is out of the queue.
Looks like chat. A couple people in chat have mentioned that EdgeTX 2.9 will add the ability to remove some of those pages like before, but like otherwise, like you're saying before, it's been pre-built, it seems.
But like that's so. Like for example, on the Jumper T20, I noticed that there was an option in the radio setup to turn off certain pages, which I had never seen before, and I'm guessing they're shipping it with a pre-release version of EdgeTX. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. So it won't be a separate compile. It'll be runtime options that you change in the radio, which is great. I'll take that 100%. I don't know about the EU option, though. Let's see here. Ooh, what do we got here? Steve Trick says, look at this thing. Why are the arms curved? I don't know how to get this. How do I get this link, though?
Just scroll up in the Discord. It's a Discord post. Yeah. It's like not too far up.
How far up, though? Oh, here we go. Thank you. Why are the arms curved? Oh, interesting. Why are the arms curved? I mean, I don't know. Let's ask. Oh, I shouldn't show you guys my messenger. Who knows what you'll see in my messenger? I'm gonna ask Sean Morrison and see what he says. Okay, I've asked Sean Morrison, the designer of the tank, why are the arms curved? And we'll see if he gets back to me on that. If he's smart, he won't get back to me. He'll be like, F you. No, he might. We'll see. He might. Let's talk about Wesley Vardy, since he was in the chat. I don't know if he still is. Wesley Vardy, you may know him as the long-range YouTube guy. Did a lot of long-range testing. Range testing. Well, he was one of the only guys doing range testing of RC and video links, actually flying them out to failure instead of, doing less than that. Huge amount of really, really good data. And I always wondered, well, how is that legal? But he was in some foreign country. I assumed that the rules were different there. Turns out I was wrong. It turns out he was in a country where what he was doing was considered not allowed, and his local government came and found him and said, you're in trouble. And he took all his videos down and crossed his fingers that if he just laid low and was a good little boy, he would not receive any severe punishment. And he just found out that he got a $3,000 fine. I only just learned about the $3,000 fine thanks to a video from Ian Madstech, which came out just this evening, my time. And good news as far as I know, he has a GoFundMe to pay the fine. It was a $3,000 fine. And I believe that it is all paid for immediately. Like, just immediately. I'm hearing underneath Madstech's video, Madstech said that the GoFundMe was funded, and actually Madstech took the link down, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, within 3 hours it was funded.
Okay, great. I want to confirm
One
that
anonymous
that's true.
person donated the second half, which is $1,350. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, wow. One anonymous person donated $1,350. So his fine is covered, and we are asking if you would like to donate to Wesley Vardy, but you can't because he already covered his expenses. Instead, donate to the Express LRS project, which Wesley Vardy works for. And we can make a donation. Let's see here. How am I doing? Oh, I've gotten pushed way down. Oh, no, it goes this way. Okay. All right, I'm still doing pretty good. I should probably give a little more because I definitely was going to donate to Wesley. I'm not going to make a big show about doing it on stream and, conspicuous consumption or anything. But here is the link if you would like to donate to the Express LRS project. They do a lot of good work. And thanks to everybody who covered him. The first thing I thought was, oh, he got a fine. Obviously, I'm going to contribute because obviously the work he did was incredibly valuable. And so kudos to that. What I want to know, though, is Wesley still in the chat? There he is. He's there. Wesley, now that you've been fined, can you put the damn videos back up? Like, the crime has been done. The penalty has been enacted and paid. What, are they going to fine you some more if you put the videos up? Obviously, Wesley Vardy has to make that decision for himself. He's the one whose ass is on the line. But I have to say, from my perspective, I put the fucking videos, pardon me, I put the videos back up. You've been punished. Oh,
yeah, I was just gonna. I was literally gonna point the same thing out. They only list one video.
The sons of bitches. They only dinged him for one of his videos. So if he puts the videos back up, they'll be like, "Oh, I see. You want to screw around." Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Well, maybe we shouldn't make too big a deal out of the fact that he funded his fine in like 3 hours, because they'll be like, oh, the faster you raise money, the more they go, oh, apparently we can squeeze money out of you, and apparently we're not actually punishing you. So maybe we'll play it low, play it safe. All right. So the other big piece of news that people are talking about is this drone ban. Again, Madstech made a post about it. I've been tracking this for a while and thought I understood it. But Blunty, you think I may not have understood it correctly. Let me bring up this link, which was in the Discord.
I think I'm at a point of where I don't know, but it sure sounds like we're in trouble. But there's nothing really more official than this government link I found.
Okay.
That basically, we have a translated version of it.
Yeah, so this is a translated version, but this is a Chinese website, the Ministry of Commerce. So this is not like a news article that is misquoting or something. This is straight from the Chinese Ministry of Commerce. And the gist of this is that the Chinese government has noticed that a lot of Chinese drones are being used in certain places in the world, not going to say where. They're being used for military application. And I wouldn't presume that the Chinese government actually cares, but I would presume that it's bad optics and they need to be seen as doing something. I don't know. I just assume that all politicians are cynical and all values they express are a front for something more basic. Maybe I'm wrong about that. The gist of it is, though, that they are trying to curtail some of that exporting. And what's up for grabs, though, is the interpretation. So it says here... Oh, stop. Don't do that. I need to be able to point without this thing popping up. See, that's not helpful. Yeah, that's not helpful. Okay. Restricting some UAVs, special engines, important payloads, radio communication equipment, and civilian anti-UAVs. So this first sentence doesn't really bother me because the reading of this sentence, and I've read some news articles that read the actual government document. It seems to be tailored towards like military equipment, things like thermal cameras, laser rangefinders, and other sort of directly military related technology. But then they also say, Blunty, high-performance drones may have certain military attributes, and it is an international practice to impose export controls on them. In recent years, with the rapid development of UAV technology and the continuous expansion in application scenarios, the risk of some high-specification, high-performance civilian UAVs being converted to military use continues to rise. And it sure sounds a lot like what's happening with FPV drones. Like, if you haven't seen them, we're not making this up. There's plenty of videos of consumer-grade bind-and-fly drones being converted to military application, having payloads strapped on them, and then being flown by military personnel to accomplish military objectives. And that's the concern, right, Blunty?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, yeah. It should also be noted that people in our chat were saying that MadsTech had some email from T-Motor or something about this, confirming something was happening. I have not received anything like that or seen any actual evidence that this will stop. The date is September 1st, so in theory, this is going to happen in a few days. We haven't heard any manufacturers talking about this that I've seen other than this rumored email. You would think we'd be hearing more information. We'd be seeing more quick sales of things to get things out before this export ban. Like, I don't know. It seems interesting that nothing seems to be scrambly. So I guess we'll find out how this ends up.
Yeah, that's the thing. The counterpoint to this is my awareness of just how freaking scrappy Chinese entrepreneurs are. And I don't know how this will play out, but if you read, one way to read this is that iFlight as a company goes out of business because they can't export any of their high-performance drones. It doesn't seem like iFlight would let that happen. And it doesn't seem like the Chinese government would want that to happen, in as much as the Chinese government is a monolith, which of course it isn't. But it seems like the backlash from simply putting a whole bunch of relatively medium companies out of business would have political consequences. And so, nevertheless, there is a not insane reading of this that suggests that FPV drones can't be exported. The ones that we use, the high-performance ones, can't be exported because those are specifically ones that are being adapted. I have reached out to some of my contacts in the industry in China to ask them if they have any comment about this. And if there is a comment, I will obviously fill you in, but I don't have one. And ultimately, we'll find out what happens on September 1st. But isn't that interesting? Yeah. I mean, I just suspect that the Chinese government wants the veneer of, don't do that, that's bad. But I suspect they also don't want to shut down an export business that's lucrative. And so I don't know how they're going to figure out how to do both of those things at once. But I suspect that someone will figure out how to do both of those things at once. Because I've seen the ways that American companies work around regulations that should prohibit them from doing things. But then it turns out that it's not a drone, it's something else, and suddenly it doesn't apply to the export control. So we'll see. Anyway, there you go. It doesn't affect those of us who build our own. It really depends. It really depends on how they read it. We just won't know. We just won't know. Whoa. Chubby FPV says, did he address flight test getting denied? Did flight test's FRIA application get denied? Blunty, do you know anything about this?
Yeah, they got denied for Edgewater. They just posted a video about it a few hours ago, letting the community know.
Are you... What? If anyone should be a FRIA, it's Edgewater.
I don't want to speak for them, and I haven't watched their public video about it, so I can't speak because I have private conversations with Flight Test on a weekly basis. So
okay,
I can't. I don't want to speak anymore about that because I don't know what's public.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, Eric Ashner, some FRIAs have been approved, including some non-FAA fields. That is true. Why would the FAA have denied Edgewater? That makes no... I mean, I can think of some reasons, some political reasons why they would have. But of course, there's no proof. Portland Drone Racing's FRIA application was approved, says Eirik Toft. Unfortunately, Eirik, you will no longer be a member of that club because you're moving to Tennessee. You dumbass. What are you thinking?
I will say real quick, I just want to point out, what I can say is I believe we have had it confirmed there are over 400 FRIA applications as of 2 weeks ago that have been approved and 2,000 in process, something like that. So... yeah, well, I can say that many have been getting approved. I believe the AMA is also dealing with denials and working through that stuff as well, so they're not sailing through like people might have expected they would. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, but certainly we're not going to get the blanket of free as people were hoping for by the date, the 16th. So
that's a shame. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Let's pick a good question. Ooh, here's a question from Murky. I'm going to take this question because it pertains to my frame, the QAVS. In case you've been living under a rock, Lumineer released the V2 of my QAVS frame. Very happy to finally be able to show it to you guys. I'm very happy. The motivation for designing this frame was that the older version of the frame didn't really support the O3 air unit camera. And the new camera mount supports the O3 camera. Yay! Except the day we released the frame, I can't decide if it was a lot of people or if it was just like a vocal minority, were very frustrated and annoyed that we hard mounted the camera. And the reason they were annoyed is that the DJI O3 has built-in image stabilization, but if the camera is hard mounted, the vibrations to the camera can mess with the image stabilization and basically make it not work well. And the question is that true? And the answer is yes. In fact, in response to, and I got to tell you, like when I designed the frame, in as much as I contributed to the design, and I should say the frame was designed in large part by Ryan Harrell and Santiago Espinola, I think is his last name. They are really deserve all the credit for the design of the frame, especially the really innovative arm mounting mechanism. They just get all the credit for that. But I look at the frame and I'm like, it's got my name on it. So I like, hey, could we change this? Could we do this? And then I imagine that they go, yep, okay. But I imagine that they go, oh my God, this guy, and roll their eyes. I don't know. Maybe that's not true. But so that's, I have input into it. And I have to say the image stabilization on the O3 was not a big priority for me going into this. because I fly. I don't really use a lot of image stabilization when I'm flying freestyle. And if I do, I'm usually using a GoPro. And so I'll use the image stabilization in the GoPro. And so this edge case, if indeed it is an edge case and not like a major slice of people using it, where you've got people using the O3 who are then also not using a GoPro, makes sense. That's one of the main reasons to go with the O3, who then also want to use image stabilization. You go, oh, oops. Well, this isn't the frame for you. And that's the takeaway. I will say, like, if there's something I can do to make the frame appeal more and be usable more to people who want to use it, that doesn't compromise my own design goals, then I'd consider it. And we have talked about how we might modify the frame in the future to be able to soft mount the O3 for the people who want to do that. In order to do that, we will first have to sell through the first batch of frames, which will take a little while. But we have talked about that. I'm not sure, though. Because, I mean, there are downsides to soft mounting the camera as well. And it means that anybody who doesn't fly the O3 is potentially going to get a little bit inferior camera mounting. I don't know. But we are thinking about it, and it is real. Like, after we released the frame and there was the big people going, well, how dare you not soft mount the O3? I went, well, maybe I would have loved to be able to come back and go, you see, it's fine. You guys are overreacting. So Ryan Harrell built it out with the O3 and went and flew it. And he came back and he was like, no, it's an issue. I was like, damn. So, if you fly the O3 and you want stabilization, this is not the frame for you. Maybe it will be at some point in the future. Yeah, Sebby D points out that people were frustrated because it says optimized for O3. Yeah, that was just, and we changed that wording. That was a case where we were focused on the mounting because the original frame, the mounting didn't work for the O3. It was too narrow. And so we were like, well, yes, we fixed it. And people were like, yeah, but the EIS doesn't work. And we were like, oh, crap. Yeah, you're right. So we changed the wording. Yeah. Anyway. Thank goodness, Gamers Nexus and Linus Tech Tips put that in context for me. Because on some level, we released the product, we're very proud of the product, and then there's this like, oh, how dare you? There's a group of people who are angry at the product and by extension, at us for the way we designed and the way we marketed the product. And you go, oh my God, supposed to be such an exciting time, and now we got this problem we have to think about. And then Gamers Nexus and Linus Tech Tips blew up the whole freaking internet, and I realized that in the grand scheme of things, this isn't as big a deal as it could have been. So. Sell a soft-mounted aluminum set separate with TPU inserts. Yeah, TPU inserts. So what I would do, like, if like, I don't know exactly how you would do it, but like you could, it sure seems like you could just like cut away this part and have a silicone insert that fits in here. Like, I don't know exactly how it would work, but it seems like that's something like you could do. I don't know if GetFPV is going to want to cut a whole bunch of new side plates that may or may not sell. And there are going to be people who are like, why should I pay extra for something that should have been designed into the frame in the first place? Which is a fair point. Yeah, great. This is an example of the type of thing you might do. Of course, the minute we do it, people are going to be like, you're ripping off such and such a frame. It's like, there's lots of frames that have done this. Take it easy. But this is an example of the kind of thing that people are asking for, which is a silicone soft mount insert. That's supposed to fix the issue. And you could easily see how that would be doable with this. Anyway, if you really wanted to use the O3 with this frame, you can replace this metal front end with standoffs and use a 3D printed mount. You'll lose a little bit of rigidity in the front end, but it's totally doable. If you really want to use this frame with the O3 today. Get some camera mounts. Like, I probably wouldn't use these exact ones. I would want to use one that places the O3 camera optimally, but that's the gist of it. And that'll totally work. I'm going to keep hard mounting. I don't use image stabilization on my freestyle. If you're trying to do cinematic stuff, then you're probably going to want a dead cat frame anyway. And hard mounting is more durable. I would keep hard mounting. Anyway, enough about that. Nicholas Pulo, or Pulio, maybe. I feel like I'm worried that I just said a swear word without knowing it. Pulio sounds like a swear word, doesn't it? Maybe it reminds me of culo, which means ass. Nicholas Pulio says, I feel like I have plateaued as a pilot. Any advice for advancing my skills? I'm not a beginner, but I feel like I'm not getting better. Nicholas, this is a great question. What I do when I feel like first of all, let me say, I always feel that way. No matter, like, I just released a freestyle video today. And in that freestyle video, twice, I spontaneously pulled an inverted 180 yaw spin and went back through an obstacle. I went up, I inverted, I did a 180 yaw spin and went back through the obstacle. I didn't even think about it. I just did it. And that objectively shows that I am a better pilot than I was 6 months ago, because I never used to have inverted yaw spins in my repertoire. And now I clearly have at least a little bit inverted yaw spin in my repertoire. Yay me. And nevertheless, I look at that video and the whole time I'm like, this is crap. Who would watch this? And yet I posted it to my channel, because what is YouTube channel for if not trying to, stroke your own ego by showing content to the 5 people who think you're awesome. I don't know. But so if you feel like you've plateaued on some level, you may always feel that way. It may just be how you see yourself. But what I like to do when I feel that way is force myself out of my comfort zone. Yes, exactly. Jory points it out. Force yourself out of your comfort zone and find something to do to force yourself to do something different. So what I'll do is I'll watch somebody else fly and I'll say, oh, I like that move. I can't do that. And then I'll go try to learn it. Like, for example, have you seen Vanover's latest video? Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, this kid is good. Now, I will say, Evolve 2 is not as good as Evolve 1 because Evolve 1 was a one-take, no cuts. Nevertheless, I'm not going to play the music. You guys can go watch his whole video if you want to see it with the music. Nevertheless, I could watch this and go, here's something I need to work on. Now, in a way, this is way too beyond my abilities. Almost nothing in this video do I even have a chance of working on. But I could watch a video of somebody I respect and think, like, what could I work on? Like that move. That move right there. I can do every single one of those tricks individually. Like, nothing he did there is beyond my capability. That's a sideways roll, a 180 yaw, a Matty flip, right? And yet the way he puts it together, split S in, around to backwards, sideways roll, Matty flip. Okay, so I'm going to say, all right, I can't do that. I'm going to work that. I'm going to go out and I'm going to find a branch or something. All you need is a horizontal obstacle that you go over and under. And I'm going to try to string it together exactly like that. Yep. So go out, find a pilot. Find a pilot who is just a little better than you or just a little to the side of you. Find one thing in their video that you go, ooh, I can't do that. And then go learn to do it. Just pick one. Anything that stands out to you. That's how I would break out of it. By the way, Vanover, just F this kid. He's a grown-ass man, but I'm 48 now, so everybody who's like 20 years younger than me is a kid. F him so much. How dare he be this good? How dare he? Oh yeah. I thought this middle part was a little light. That's so smooth. Where's the best? Up, down, screw you. Right? Let's do... Oh, he almost went to a tree there. That was unintentional. Yeah. Not so perfect, are you? Now we're going to go... Oh, my God. Shut the heck up. What the hell? Beautiful. So good. Oh, but wait, it gets better. Where are we going? What's he do next? Sideways roll. Okay. Up, down through here. Sure, why not? Oh my God, here it comes. Watch this. With a 180 turn in the middle. Shut up. Right into a trippy spin. Shut up. Shut up. Did you see that? Did you see that? Shaboop, trippy spin. Shut up. And then, I'm just going to ruin this whole video for you. You should go watch it. Watch this nonsense. Oh my God. Okay, so this kid can trippy spin. Am I right? God dang. All right. It's pretty good. Sim time. Yeah, you could work in the sim. Friends and good music. Music certainly is inspiring. Usually when I fly to music, I stay within my envelope because I want to get a good run that matches the music. But the music can inspire you to like string stuff together better, more fluidly. I don't think I usually do new tricks to music that I never did before. Will Power says, I'll pick a trick and drill myself on it over and over until I can do it without thinking, and I'll go back to flippy floppies, and it just happens organically. Absolutely. Watch a Vanny video or a Minchan video, then sit in the corner and realize you'll never be that good. I've had this experience in my life. The first time, I used to play guitar. I mean, probably I hate to say I used to play because like if you handed me a guitar today, I probably could figure, a few things out. So probably technically, but I haven't actually played regularly in years. But I used to play a lot. And the first time I heard Little Wing by Stevie Ray Vaughan, I really had a moment where I just wanted to quit because I would like never even be close to that good, and it just all seemed pointless. And you can't let that line of thinking get to you. I'll never be as good a pilot as somebody like Vanover or Minchan. I just have to accept that, and still have fun. At my own level, try to keep improving, and just appreciate the guys who are better than you. Axie FPV, you are 100% right. This is not an option that's available to everybody because some people just don't have a group they can fly with. But if you get the chance to fly with friends And you specifically need the ability to spectate each other. So if they have walk snail and you have DJI, this doesn't work because you can't spectate each other. You need the ability to be able to see what they're doing. They'll hit a trick and you'll be like, oh, hell yeah, I got to try that. Anyway, good question. Oh, shit. I haven't read Super Chats. I'm so out of practice. I suck. You guys have been paying me money, and I've been ignoring you. And I've completely lost track of time. I'm so sorry. Let's read Super Chats. This Super Chat is from James Cherry, who gave £20. Very generous. James Cherry says, how do I get my videos to look like Lumpy or Vanover? Oh, another £20. James Cherry left £40, and I ignored him for almost an hour. James, I'm so sorry, and I hope you're still with us. Is James still in the chat? He is. James is still there. James, what is it about Lumpy or Vanover's videos that you like? Like, for example, Vanover is using ND filters to get some blur, and that helps. But I don't know if that's what you're talking about. Let's, Blunty, keep an eye out for James's answer. Mike Bergman, I've seen Lumpy's stuff. He's insane. The cinematic look is probably that he's using ND filters. As far as color grading goes, I rely on my editor to do my color grade. The stuff that comes off my GoPro looks not great, and there's a color grade on it, but I don't do the color grading. I have an editor who knows how to color grade. If you look at the difference between my old videos and my today videos, you can see that my attempts at color grading were very bad. And my videos look a lot better now.
I tagged his response there.
Oh, thank you, Plenty. He says, I'm just playing. It'll never happen. Just like you discussed. Yeah. Nicholas Pulio says, thank you for $5 super chat, Nicholas. Any advice for finding local pilots to fly with? Facebook groups haven't helped much. I'm in Lancaster, PA. Nicholas, I would look for a multi-GP chapter in your area. You may have to drive 45 minutes or an hour to get to where they are, but like there's a fair chance, because Pennsylvania's not that big. There's a fair chance that like there's a multi-GP chapter somewhere within a reasonable driving distance of you that you could meet up with. The other thing that I learned from interviewing the guys at Flytribe is if you want a local community and there is no local community, you need to be the seed for your local community. So you need to start a multi-GP chapter and register a multi-GP chapter. I don't think there are really any requirements for registering a tier 1 multi-GP chapter. If I'm wrong about that, the chat will let me know. But get your name out there. You know, Lancaster, PA, multi-GP racing. And this is true. Like somebody says in the chat, Warrior Life FPV says there's lots of FPV in Pennsylvania. Flew there this weekend near Scranton. So even if this advice holds for anybody, not just people who might have somebody near them, make a Facebook group, Lancaster, PA, FPV drone racing. Just stuff it with keywords and keep it alive. And eventually one other guy will be like, oh, hey, I'm in Lancaster, I fly FPV, and they'll meet up with you. And now there's 2. And eventually, with some luck, it might take 6 or 9 months or a year, but eventually you'll build a community. Dan Z points out that Bach Grinder's in Philly. Right, Bach Grinder's in Philly. It's 90 minutes from Lancaster. There's got to be people to fly with. You just haven't found them, dude. All right. FP Avery says, JB, I'm in your state for vacation this week. Any recommendations for flying spots in Tennessee? Thank you for a $5 super chat. I'm currently headed towards Knoxville. I don't know. I mostly just fly in my yard. I would join the Knoxville FPV Racing Facebook group and say, hey guys, I'm looking for somebody to give me some spots. That's what I would say. Blunty, are you removing these behind me? Or should I be removing them? Is that removed or is that in the queue? I can't tell.
I've been
Blunty?
removing them behind you.
Okay. I'll try to get back on track. Thomas Grana, thank you for a $10 super chat. Thomas asks, I've got a video production company which has more clients asking for FPV drone work. Our pilot has Part 107 cert. Our standard video production insurance does not cover anything drones. What insurance would you recommend people use for paid cinematic drone insurance? And there was a chat. Yeah, Captain Kazi, who is a professional pilot, says Skywatch is the best insurance for 107 work. So Captain Kazi has earned that super chat, but that just means I'll buy him a beer the next time I see him. Actually, I know what to do. Captain Kazi, here's how I'll thank Captain Kazi for fielding that question. Captain Kazi makes some of the coolest FPV t-shirts. I've bought several of them. I'm not wearing one right now, but his t-shirts are amazing. Just they're just clearly designed by a funny FPV pilot. Let's just show some of them. See, what is this? I don't know, but I like it. Quadzimoto. Plug in on me. No one will get this. Oh, I hate that color. No one will get this except you and your FPV friends. Right? If you're looking for FPV apparel, Captain Kazi's shirts are the way to go. CaptainKazi.com/apparel. There we go. Hopefully he sells enough t-shirts to make up for the fact that I'm keeping that $10.
On the back of that, real quick, somebody else asked about, do you know if you can still get the FPV Coexist t-shirts?
Those were Rotor Riot, right?
Believe so, but I wasn't 100%.
I don't know. I think those are Rotor Riot. Apparel. Oh, wow. That's a cool shirt. Oh, that's new to me. Oh, it's a soldering iron. That's really cool. Who made that? That's really cool. I like that a lot. So I didn't... Oh, that's it, huh? It looks like they've gotten rid of a bunch of the old quad box shirts. I don't know if they sold them or what. It doesn't seem like they're there anymore. Like none of them. Except this know-it-all shirt. Haha. I'm the only one that's left! That's just because they sold all the other ones, and that's the last one that didn't sell.
Only $5.
Oh my god, that's embarrassing. And the drib shirt, but the drib shirt is still full price. That's because he owns the company. He runs the company. So no, I would guess that the Coexist shirt is no longer available. Continuing with our super chat run, we'll keep going through the super chats until I finish them off. LA Hoverbikes wants to know any HD box goggles that fit glasses. Either the glasses are small enough to fit or they're not. The Fat Shark Scout, I guess. I mean, HD is not. I mean, are you talking walk snail? Are you talking? Yeah. I don't think so. I think the answer is no, because even like the Fat Shark Scout, the glasses don't fit very well. So I would say no is the honest answer. If you have very small glasses, maybe. That's what I would say. Coelho FPV, thank you for a $5 super chat. What's your recommendation on low-cost post-processing software for DJI O3 video? Coelho, what kind of post-processing are you asking about? If you mean stabilization, Gyroflow is free. But if you mean like color grading, then DaVinci Resolve is free. If you're looking, I don't know what else you might be looking for. So let us know in the chat what else you might be looking for. I'll see if I can help. But DaVinci Resolve for editing and color grading, and Gyroflow for stabilization. Adam Bennett, thank you for 5 Canadian. I just upgraded to an 03 air unit running a KISS flight controller. I can't figure out how to get the average cell voltage in my OSD on my V2 goggles. Any ideas? In short, no. Because I don't fly KISS on a daily basis, I can't off the top of my head tell you exactly how to set the OSD up to give you average cell voltage. The first question I would have, and let's see if the chat can save me on this one, does KISS, and I assume you mean like KISS Ultra, but I mean maybe that's not a fair assumption. Does KISS have the option to show average cell voltage? If it's KISS Ultra, then, okay, it's coming back to me. If it's KISS Ultra, then the configuration is going to be in the OSD itself. But on a digital, does the 03 support the full KISS Ultra OSD? Bad for Life says with FETTech, you need FETTech Alpha firmware for the 03 OSD. Dan Z says you can do it on KISS Ultra. Slapomat says JB not knowing KISS is his biggest weakness. Slapomat, if you think that's my biggest weakness, you need to get to know me better. I have much bigger weaknesses than that. I assure you. KISS Ultra OSD works fine with the 03. I thought so, Bad for Life. Does it like the full menu and everything, Bad for Life? Yeah, it's character-based, so I guess it would work. Fog Doctor says KISS Ultra will show average cell voltage, but KISS V2 will not. What do I think my biggest weakness is? What is this, a job interview? My biggest weakness is that I work too hard sometimes and make too much money from my boss at the detriment of my own well-being. That is my biggest weakness. I'm not telling you what my biggest weakness is. Why would I give up my biggest weakness? I feel like if I were a wittier person, I would come up with a Dwight Schrute answer. Never tell anyone your biggest weakness. They will use it to defeat you. Right? Dan Z assures us that they use KISS Ultra with the DJI 3 and have average cell voltage. Best editor for simple edits and stabilization, says GV Pilot. Use Resolve. Resolve is the best editor, period. It's free and it can do everything you want it to do. The only reason you wouldn't use DaVinci Resolve to edit is if you already have a paid subscription to Premiere like I do and just can't be bothered to quit. Or if Resolve is too complicated and you want something simpler. But Resolve is just the way to go. For stabilization, Gyroflow. That's the answer. Unless you're using a GoPro, in which case you might use Real Steady, which works very well with GoPros. But Gyroflow also works with GoPros. Okay. Global Source, thanks for a $5 super chat. Going back to the export ban, my export agent told me to get goods out this week or risk needing an export permit. China doesn't care about our microscopic industry. Woo! Well, it turns out it won't be remote ID that kills our hobby. Smoke 'em while you got 'em, boys! Nazar Kokan, thank you for a $5 super chat. I want to make the AOS 5 V2 8S with Foxeer Reaper, etc., etc., etc. Good if light. That sounds like a great build. The 1350 kV motors are going to be rock solid on 8S. That's actually, you're going to, frankly, I think you're going to miss some of the mystique of 8S on a 1350 kV motor. Okay, let's do the math. 1350 times 2. That's the equivalent of 2700 kV on 4S. That's not actually that high. So you're going to get some benefit, but the real benefit of going to 8S will be if you use higher kV motors and really start to feel that top end power. If you're not looking for top end power, then 1350 kV is great. But some of the, oh my God, that 8S gives really manifests when you go to higher kV motors like 1500 kV. So I would consider like a 1750 kV motor, and then you will use a motor output limit of like 90% or 85% to bring it down closer to 1500 kV. If you use a 1350 kV motor, that's actually a pretty normal kV. And the real advantage of going to higher voltage is you can use bananas kV to like teleport to the moon. If you're not interested in teleporting to the moon, then you may as well just build a 6S. But that's fine. That build is fine. You're going to love it. But I think that if you're not going to get that, I just teleported to the moon experience. But on the other hand, you will have a usable throttle curve, which also is nice. Continuing to read the super chats. We're about halfway through. Dino FPV said, thank you for a $5 super chat. I just built a Beta FPV 85 with walk snail. I got stutter or frame drop. What could that be? That's going to be hard to figure out just based on a super chat. The first thing I would do is make sure you're not on the public channel. Make sure that the system notices that you're arming. Like temperature protection may make it stay at low power when you're disarmed. And then look down at the bottom of the screen at the bit rate and the latency. And if the latency is just all over the place before you even take off, then you've got interference or you've got bad hardware. Try moving to a different channel. You could be getting interfered by Wi-Fi. These are some of the things that could cause this problem. He says it's walk snail, Black Jungle, not HD0. Bent, thank you for a $5 super chat. Any reason to have telemetry lost and recovered over and over and over? It wasn't doing this before the firmware update. It's a GEP-RC Phantom XM Plus. Well, Bent, telemetry lost and recovered. What firmware did you update? That's the question. Whatever it was, put it back. Put it back. Oh, Black Jungle, I see what you mean. Going back to the super chat from Dino, are you using the HD0 goggles with the Walksnail standalone receiver? Dino FPV. There's an issue, Black Jungle points out, if you have the Walksnail VRX at 100 FPS, it causes stutter on some HD0 goggle firmwares. Dino says yes. Okay. Flash the latest firmware that was released very recently, Dino, and see if that fixes it. That's an issue with the HD0. Thank you, Black Jungle, for that one. Appreciate it. Black Jungle, I did get your box. You were asking earlier. I got the box you sent me. Black Jungle. Oh, there it is. Thank you for 5 Brazilian reais. I did get your box. Liquid Texture. Thank you for a $5 super chat. I've been flying Sims and Tiny Whoops. I'm looking to buy or build a Cine style, but also love freestyle and combining the two. Do you have any recommendations? If you buy a Cinewhoop, it won't fly freestyle great, but it will be able to be freestyled. So if you're interested in building a Cine-style Cinewhoop, then just buy it and freestyle it as best you can. But any Cine-style Cinewhoop is not going to fly as good as an open prop 3-inch designed for freestyle. Thank you, ET Studios, for a $10 super chat, and thanks for keeping me in the air. Kevin Sumner, thank you for a $10 super chat. I'm looking for spacers like the Quadmula PS3 in the US. Do you know of any stores that have them or similar? Currently using M3 spacers and flange head screws. So, Kevin, I don't know where Quadmula gets those exact ones, but if McMaster Car doesn't have it, man, nobody does. So let's go look at McMaster Car, and let's see if we can find it. And this is going to be a... what's the name for that kind of screw? Right? Countersunk. Countersunk washer. Ooh. Oh, we got one. Thank you to the Discord. Thanks to Pacific Source. Pacific Source in the Discord has saved us. EX3 spacers, 4-pack. These are the same spacers being used by, who was it you were asking after? But surely these are flanged washer, not quite. Countersunk spacer. Countersunk washer. No, not quite. Close. I guarantee you they're not manufacturing these custom. Countersunk cushioning washers. That's real close, but not quite. Kevin Sumner says, I've searched McMaster up and down and didn't find them. Damn. Like, I guarantee these guys are not... These guys are sourcing them from somewhere. They're not custom machining them. I'd be shocked if they custom machined them. But if Kevin Sumner has searched McMaster, I'm going to give up on McMaster. And I'm going to go to AliExpress. Shut up. I'm on the trail now. I'm hungry. Oh, that's close. That's just regular countersunk washers. Countersunk washers. I guarantee you these guys are finding them and sourcing them. They are not custom machining them. We just have to find out where they're getting them from. All right, I'm not going to spend the whole live stream trying to find these damn things, but it would be such a freaking victory if I did find them. I kind of want to try. No. No. EX3 spacers. Let's just search for that. EX3 spacers. Come on. Come on. Maybe that's just the name of them. That's EX and does not. Damn it. All right, I give up. Sleeved washer countersunk. Okay. No. Bushing? No. Let's check McMaster. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's a bushing. That's so close. That's a bushing. That's what we want. No, I don't want plain bearings. I want bushings. Bushings. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. It's a countersunk bushing. Come on. We're so close.
Type like he said, sleeved countersunk bushing in McMaster car, because it looks pretty similar to what we want.
Where do you
I
find...
got something different. That's interesting.
Okay, hang on. Let's go back to the beginning.
Type electrical dash insulating sleeve washers. And then see if this is where we want to be.
I mean, that's it, but we need the countersunk one.
Okay.
Yeah, see, that's the exact right thing, but it's not countersunk.
So rolled collar? Add rolled collar, like electrical insulating rolled collar. Is that what we want? No.
No. Cup. See, that's so close. So sleeve washer. Let's try countersunk sleeve washer. Most riveting fucking live stream ever. It's a sleeve washer. Oh, so close. I'm so close to finding it. Damn it. Ah! Countersunk sleeve washer. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
All right. We got a couple other choices. Countersunk shoulder washer. Or we've got countersunk bushing. Step washer sleeve bushing. Boy, we got a bunch of shots in the chat.
Okay, countersunk shoulder washer doesn't look like it is correct. Let's just try images. It's all right. We're so close, but we're not getting it. Now I know how my wife feels. Ha ha! Oh, okay, sorry.
Countersunk cushioning washer. Oh, sounds like something.
No, all right. We're gonna stop. We're gonna give up for now. If anybody can figure out where these guys are buying these, because this clearly is not a product that they're manufacturing. They're buying them somewhere, but we can't find them. If anybody can find out where they're sourcing them, you'll win a gold star from me. But I don't want to spend any more of our live stream time trying to find the right combination of keywords to get this. We're real close, though. And I got more super chats to read. We're real close, though. For now, we'll just have to buy these. Now, I will say, I guess you could, if you wanted to, you could buy standard countersunk washers and aluminum spacers. Just cylindrical aluminum spacers, right? You could buy an M3 spacer and combine it with this flat washer. I mean, it's $16 for two, so no thank you, but you did find it. We're trying to save money. All right. Moving on. Let's move on. Thank you for that. That was really fun. That actually was the most fun I've had the whole live stream, which shows you what a gigantic nerd I am. But we have to move on. Thank you for your super chat. Professor Biohazard, thank you for a $5 super chat. Went to West Coast Throwdown and saw Street League for the first time. Any recommendations for a freestyle pilot who wants to get into racing? Professor Biohazard, you want recommendations for a Street League build? I mean, I think you probably could do a lot. What I would do is I would find someone else's Street League build and copy it. So, like, if I go to rotorbuilds.com and I'm just going to search for Street League and see what we find. So here's a bunch of Street League builds. I'm just going to pick one of these that looks good, and I'm going to copy it. The $3.99 appeals to me because I think I know that frame, and I think that's a good frame. What frame? The practice rig. Yeah, I think this Project $3.99 practice rig is a good Street League frame. I'm pretty sure that Evan Turner's has a 7-inch frame as well. But oh, that's a good idea. Oh, that's a good idea. Wait, that's too good an idea. What if... Okay, hang on. We're back here again. What if I take this image and I do a...
Chat wants you to know that there are machined by him.
Shut up.
He's a community member, and he had to make the machine to get exactly what he wanted.
But he's not the only one that makes these. Is it Pirat Frames?
It's in the Odo Bros thread in your Discord where they talk about his process. So.
Who is it? It's not Pirat Frames. Is it Pirat Frames who makes? No. What's the other frame? It's in my damn closet right now. He's machining them himself? That's impressive. No, Pirat Frames has some torque screws. What the fuck is this? Oh, well, this frame. This one. See? It has the same ones. Is he machining them too? Fucking... I don't know. Alright, anyway. He CNC milled them himself. Okay. There you go. Well, I'm impressed. Okay. Continuing on. Dalton Upton, thank you for a $5 super chat. I have an Omagod 250. I am using the Fox Zero Reaper AIO. Why can't I get the DJI 03 air unit to show OSD? User error, most likely. User error. Okay, moving on. We would have to check the wiring, that the TX and the RX wires go to the RX and the TX wires. That we have, then what I would do is I would load the 03 preset. So there are several steps to getting the 03 OSD to work right, and the simplest thing to do is to go to the presets tab in Betaflight and load the 03 preset. And that will make sure you're not missing any of the steps. Saggy Balls, thank you for a $5 super chat. I have 04X goggles. The Avatar and the 1S VTX kit is $249. In terms of performance and picture quality, pros and cons of the 04X with the VRX versus the Avatar goggles. The latency is going to be slightly higher, and you will not be able to do 100 FPS. You will only be able to do 60 FPS. And especially now that they have this race mode that keeps the latency lower, that lack of 100 FPS is going to be more of a thing. I think the biggest thing you're missing is the 100 FPS, and that depends how much you care about latency. But I think that's not nothing. That's not nothing. Alan Lay, thank you for a $5 super chat. I love the OG DJI FOV, but on the 03 FOV, I'm having trouble getting used to it. Me too. It's a really wide FOV. Any tips to make it similar? No. There's nothing you can do to change the FOV of the camera in the goggles. You can change the FOV that's recorded on the air unit, but it doesn't affect what's transmitted to the goggles. The only thing you could do is change the lens on the 03 camera. I don't really know how feasible that is, though. Theoretically, it should be possible. I don't know if anybody's doing it, and I don't know how feasible that is. Peter Garcia. How do I get Betaflight OSD on my DJI Goggles V2? Help me, please. Yes, absolutely, Peter Garcia. Guess what? I just released a video. Is it this one? Yeah. I just released a video. It is this video. DJI V2 goggle. Oh, wait, put it over here. DJI V2 goggle Betaflight HD OSD start to finish guide. Okay? I'm going to put that in the chat. I'm going to ping you, Peter Garcia. That video will show you everything you need to do from start to finish. Like, that made... it's everything you need to do, start to finish. LA Hoverbikes, thank you for a $5 super chat. What prop size would you pick to carry a run cam thumb on 3 to 4S? Freestyle cruiser, 5 to 8 minutes of flight time. I mean... Oh, sub 250. Okay. The answer to what's the best sub 250 is 3.5 inches. If you have to save a little bit of weight, go down to 3 inches. But 3.5 is the sweet spot for sub 250 in terms of perform. I mean, you can build a 5-inch sub 250, but you give up a lot in terms of durability. Firebird, thank you for a $5 Canadian super chat. I'm looking to make a longboard chase drone with long-range potential. Currently have all the analog parts. What would you recommend? You want to chase longboarders with long-range potential. How far are the longboarders going to go? How long range do you need? If you have old analog video parts, that could be okay. Like if you have an old flight controller from 5 years ago, I would question whether you should build with it. But if you have a video transmitter from 5 years ago, I mean, it could get the job done depending on its output power. I would really need to know more about what you mean by long range. Black Jungle says they go mountain and highways long sometimes. Yeah, but if you've got a longboarder going down a mountain, will the pilot be... If they go around a corner, now the pilot can't see it, is going to lose video. So how far away, unless we're like longboarding down a desert or something, where, you know, I can imagine a lot of scenarios where the longboarder causes you to fail safe if you're trying to follow him, if you get too far away. So how long is long, I guess is the question. Less than 10 kilometers. Well, that's still pretty far. I think we need to refine your requirements. I mean, there's a big difference in 2 kilometers versus 10 kilometers. 10 kilometers is way harder to do than 2 kilometers, especially if you're at ground vehicles. I'm sorry, not ground vehicles, at ground level. There's this comment comes in from Aber the Ham, who says most longboarders use chase vehicles. So if the assumption is that you're going to be in a chase vehicle following the longboarder, then you don't need extreme long range. And that's going to really simplify your build. When you say you have old analog parts, you mean video? Are you building a quad? I mean, I think the thing to do, if you're chasing a person with a potential that you're going to hit the person, I think you should think hard about building like a 3-inch or a 3.5-inch Cinewhoop, because the prop guards will help protect the person a little bit. If you're going to fly open prop around a person, you have to be real damn confident in your piloting. I want to say, people are talking about TPU inserts. I want to say for those... hold on. Let me find unthreaded spacers. So I bought these unthreaded spacers, aluminum unthreaded spacers, 4.5 millimeter OD. The reason people want these, can I just find this? The reason people want these is that the screw crushes the TPU of the GoPro mount and then it rips through. And that happens even if you're using washers. So what these do is, these go, here we go. Yeah, give me those. These go inside the TPU so that the screw presses down on the metal and doesn't crush the TPU and securely presses against the carbon. And if you can't find those fancy, expensive milled countersunk ones, just don't use countersunk screws. I've been using these for, well, when did I order this? September 2022. I've been using these, and if you don't use countersunk screws, which is kind of a vanity thing, you don't really need them, then you could just buy these. You're going to need to size up the holes on your GoPro mount, but that will get the job done. And it's not some exotic piece that you have to pay extra for. Oz's Builds and Adventures, thank you for $5 New Zealand dollars. Can you use the Goggles 2 and the V2 goggles in audience mode together to watch a drone flying? Yes, if you're using the O3 air unit. If you're using a Vista, you cannot. The DJI compatibility matrix gets even more complicated. Car Guy for Life asks, ever flown into poison ivy? Any advice? I'm pretty sure I turtle moded in some the other day. The quad is sitting up in my closet. So the oil that causes you to break out can be transferred from surface to surface. If you turtle moded in some poison ivy, then your quad is probably covered in that oil. So I would be careful about touching it. But if you just leave it out in the sun for a couple days, the oil will break down. In the sun will break the oil down, and it'll be safe again. It would be my thought. Alcohol can clean it off, but that would kind of be a pain in the ass. Mike says, I'm selling my old FPV gear. Can I post the eBay item number in the chat? Thank you for a $10 super chat, Mike. I can't really stop you, Mike. I mean, I'm not going to like ban you for doing that, but I also don't like condone it, or, you know, or vouch for you. So go for it. Thank you for a $10 super chat. Nazar, thank you for a $5 super chat. 1900 kV on my 6S RPM, then 8S. Was worried about flight time, so I thought 1350 is even better. You run 8S HV, it's even more RPM. No GoPro will help? I mean, I think you should go for it. It's just what you're looking for. When I built 8S, I wanted ridiculous RPM that was going to make me shit my pants. If you want, but the quad is basically unflyable above 50% throttle. So, you know, that's not what everybody wants. Thank you, Ta Token, for a $10 super chat. We're caught up. Let me make sure. Ta Token. Ta Token wants to know, I love my Darwin FPV Cinewhoop. What would you suggest next as a cruiser or park flyer that flies a bit more aggressively in the 3-inch category? In the 3-inch category, I would get something like the Darwin FPV Baby Ape or the Tiny Ape, whatever their 3.5 inch is. Yeah. It's going to be a little more aggressive than a Cinewhoop. I think it's the Tiny Ape is their 3.5 inch. Yeah. That's where I would go. If you're looking for a 3-inch. If you really want to, build a tiny trainer, but that's a little bit of a commitment. Oh my God, we're caught up on Super Chats! Yay! Thank you guys for the Super Chats. So we will go back to taking questions from the regular chat. What's better, the Pavo Pico or the Mobula 8? La 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 la. No comment. I think they're both pretty good. I thought they were both pretty good. People have reported problems with vibrations on the Pavo Pico. I didn't have that problem. Mine was fine. And I've watched some other reviews of the Pavo Pico, and some people have said, oh, the vibrations were terrible. I think Mads Tech had a lot of problems with vibrations on his. Mine was fine. I don't know what the difference is. But I think I would personally... That's tough. I think the Pavo Pico flew a little bit better. But I think the Mobula 8 was a little more durable. I would wait because Flywoo has a naked 03 coming out. And I feel like that's going to be even better. That's what I would say. Between those two, I think I liked the Pavo Pico better, but I think that I might like living with the Mobula 8 better. Because the Pavo Pico has a few things about the way it's built that I think are going to compromise durability. And if I was going to crash it, I think I'd want the Mobula. And I've heard of people having burnt flight controllers on the Pavo. Although I didn't have a problem. I didn't have that problem. Of course, my Pavo was borrowed and I sent it back to its owner. Let's see here. Flush FPV says, I have a motor ticking. How do I find out which one? In the Betaflight Motors tab, spin each motor one at a time and listen for the ticking. That's funny as shit. Wow. CM11783 says, oops, wrong one. What's going on with TBS? Everything is out of stock. Yeah, that's the same reason that China's banning the export of drones is my theory about why everything's out of stock at TBS. Because whenever I see those videos coming out of those places in the world that we're not going to talk about on stream because it's too sensitive, everybody's using TBS gear. So I'm guessing they're just buying them up and no one else can get them. I don't know. I mean, that's my theory. I'm sure that's not all there is to it. Where'd I get the toolbox bench behind me? Oh, dude, don't make me talk about my benches again. No, don't, man. You guys don't want me to talk about my benches again, do you? They're from Rousseau Metal. That's where they're from. Yeah. They're amazing. They're wonderful. Ooh, vertical cabinets. I didn't even know about this. Is this new? Vertical cabinets. What do they look like pulled out? How do they pull out? Vertical drawer cabinets. I want to see. Oh, they're not going to show. Oh, well. I want to see the drawers pull out. That looks amazing. There it is. Ooh, what does it look like? Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Where could I put those in my office? That's really cool, man. I don't think they had those when I shopped for mine. I don't even need that. But I sure as hell want it. You need to update the color. Okay. Dominique Campdell says, my HD0 goggles have horrible input lag while using the simulator on the HDMI input. I've tried a different cord, but no dice. Any suggestions? I wonder if you could try updating your firmware. I've heard of some issues about lag on the HDMI input on certain firmwares. So try updating the firmware. That's my only thought. Let's see here. Marcin Samocha says, I'm thinking about buying the Darwin FPV Hulk FPV for my yacht race, but for my DJI V2 goggles, I see the O3 version. Looks like there's no place for GoPro. Is O3 enough during the day? Marcin, many people feel that the footage from the O3 is acceptable. Some professionals feel that it's unacceptable. It just depends on where your standards are. You should look at footage from the O3 that other people have posted, and you should decide whether it would work for you. Not everybody. Some people definitely think it's good enough, though. With a little creativity, I'm sure you can figure out how to mount a GoPro on the damn thing. Right? So, it's got to be doable. Let's see here. Oh, thank you, Blenty. I was just about to get it. That skier guy wants to know, what's the benefit of walk snail coming from DJI? That skier guy, this is an interesting question, because I have to tell you, and this is the kind of thing that I'll say, and you'll think, he's just doing that bullshit YouTuber game where they say they're switching just to get views. But this is just me talking out my ass on a live stream. This is not me releasing a video. I'm switching! If I do switch, I'll make that video because I'll need those sweet, sweet views. But I've been thinking about where I'm going to go after the Vista. So I don't think I'm going to build any more quads with Vistas in them. Except, hang on. Okay, I still have 2 Vistas left. Do you remember a long time ago when there was a dry spell of Vistas and I bought like 8 of them? Just to stock up? I'm almost through them. Okay, I have 2 Vistas left. I'm thinking hard about what to do with my next set of builds. I don't think it's going to be the O3. I don't. The O3 has a lot going for it. But I don't love the O3 camera. The O3 camera is expensive as shit if you break it. I don't love the image. Like, it's a good looking image, but it doesn't have great dynamic range. And the O3 latency is kind of, well, it's difficult to know for sure because they don't tell you what it is. I just don't know. So right now, on all of my personal birds, I have Vistas. And I've updated the Vistas to use them with the goggles too. Because the goggles too, I think they're nicer to use than the V2 goggles. It's nice to not have to deal with rooting the goggles and WTFOS and to just have things just work. Although there are some things that are missing. It's nice with the goggles too to be able to record the OSD in the goggles without any additional steps. So my current state is the Vista with the G2. And I think that's a pretty good place to be. However, you can't audience mode unless you also have the G2. And as far as I can tell, USB output to the DJI Fly app doesn't work. And USB output to the DigiView app doesn't work. So it's not a perfect solution. And I'm thinking hard. Walksnail is very appealing. Walksnail, the image quality and range is not as good as DJI. That's a fact. Set that aside. It's still pretty good. And Walksnail is really doing a good job of finding things that DJI isn't good at and just hitting them right there. Walksnail has a 1S video transmitter that works on small quads and is pretty damn good. Walksnail just added race mode, which is not as low or consistent latency as HD0. That's true. But it is noticeably better than Walksnail and DJI. It's noticeably better. Walksnail has a low light camera. So Walksnail is kind of like, okay, like if you imagine, okay, I'm not going to make that analogy. That's an offensive analogy. I'm not going to do it. Walksnail is kind of like a 7 out of 10 at like a whole bunch of things. They're not like a 10 out of 10 at anything, but they're like a 7 out of 10 across the board. And DJI is a 10 out of 10 at some things and just like did not even show up that morning on other things. I'm tempted. There's a non-zero chance that when I build my next perfect freestyle build, I'm probably going to build 2 or 3 of them. There's a non-zero chance that I'm going to put Walksnail in there. I think that it's time to move away from Vistas because I think that they're going to, keep buying them if you can get them, but I don't know how much longer they're going to be around. So currently, I don't think you can you buy the Caddx Vista? We got the RunCam Link. I'm not really inspired by these cameras. The Phoenix is a 60 FPS camera. The Wasp is a 120.
You can still buy Nebula Pros.
Yeah, can you? I was just about to check that. The
Yeah,
Wasp
I don't know why, but
120 FPS camera, but you can't actually change any of the settings like I would like. Is it 4.3 or is it 16.9? It's 4.3. So that's probably like where I would go today is the RunCam Link Wasp. Can you buy the Nebula? That's what I was going to check next, Blunty. Thank you. Caddx is still selling the Nebula Pro. So, like, that's what I would actually buy. I think the Nebula Pro is a fantastic camera. How is this still available?
Yeah, when I came back to look at them the other day, somebody was asking, and they have these and the Nanos still, and I was pretty surprised.
Let's find out how many they have.
Oh, interesting. I didn't try that many.
Uh-oh.
I figured there was just a limit on them, but... Oh, I was able to add more than that. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it's because you added them all, Blunty. They won't sell them to me. I can't add to cart. They're unavailable.
Interesting. Like
How
3
many
days
were
ago,
you-
I was able to do it. So.
How many were you able to add?
I added 9 when I tested, like 3 or 4 days ago.
Interesting. I mean, Blunty, you and I have been predicting the end of the Vista for a while, pretty much since the O3 came out. And I don't know if I would say we predicted it. Some people would say we predicted it. Certainly when the rumors of the G2 and the O3 started circulating, I remember that we said, if you're thinking of buying the V2 goggles today, you have to think about whether they will continue to be supported. Because when the new generation comes out, oftentimes the old generation is discontinued. It didn't end up happening that way.
Hey, real quick, it lets me add 59 right now.
Oh, I have 59 as well. Okay, so that's how many they have in stock. 59. Now the question, Blunty, let's keep an eye on this. Let's watch this number, Blunty. Every couple days we'll check this, okay? And I want to see if this ever goes back up. You see what I mean? Is this the
like
last...
to restock them, or is this it?
Right. Is this the last 59 Nebula Pros in existence? Or will they restock it? Let's keep an eye on it. We'll see if we'll try to figure it out. Anyway, I'm amazed at how long the Vista has existed. To me, the Vista with the goggles 2 is a great system. But that race mode in the Walksnail is mighty freaking tempting. Anyway, I'm thinking about it. Alrighty. Got about 10 minutes left in the stream. The stream has gone completely smoothly, Blunty. I'm kind of amazed.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Can you ruin a Vista or Air unit by running it with a broken or missing antenna? Mark H asks. The short answer is no. Analog VTXs will be ruined if you run them without an antenna. Express LRS modules, I don't know about them. I shouldn't say. Crossfire modules are safe. They have protection against that kind of damage. And DJI and Walksnail video transmitters are safe. They have protection against that kind of damage. So, you're good to go there. You will not ruin them. It's right. You're right to be concerned, but they have protection. Matisse Berzine says, my drone fell into dirty ditch water. What can I do? I rinsed it with isopropyl alcohol and let it dry for 24 hours. That's about all you can do. Rinse it, scrub it clean. If you have a toothbrush, use a clean toothbrush and scrub it to try to get the dirt and minerals off. You can use distilled water followed by alcohol. But then let it thoroughly dry and cross your fingers. That guy Carlos wants to know, what do you think about the Radio Master Pocket? Have you had hands on it yet? I don't know, Carlos. I wonder if I've had my hands on it yet. Carlos! Carlos! You're not subscribed to my channel, Carlos! You're not paying attention to the desktop notifications, Carlos! Okay, I'm sorry. It's cheap. It's relatively durable because of its design, and it's small. That's what I decided. 3 types of people. People who want to save a lot of money, people who have small hands, and people who want a durable radio that they can just chuck in a bag like this. Like this. Like this. Come on. Where's the chuck? Where's the toss? Oh, man. Okay, well, this is kind of anticlimactic. Where did I throw? I threw the radio. All right, forget it. You can watch the video. How do you set up VTX channels on CleanFlight? There is no option menu. Why are you running CleanFlight? Is it 2016? CleanFlight supports smart audio, but that was before VTX tables became a thing. So basically, it just assumes you're using the only kind of smart audio that existed when it was actually CleanFlight's been updated, but they don't have VTX tables. I don't know. It just does it automatically, right? I have no idea. It's been so long since I used CleanFlight. I have no idea. But like EmuFlight just used standard Smart Audio 2.0 or whatever. I don't know. You don't. Can you use audience mode with the V2 goggles and the goggles too? Yes. If you're using the O3 Air unit, not if you're using the Vista. Andrew Wickham says, has your tier position on HD0 changed since trying the 90 FPS camera? So I wanted to build a 5-inch freestyle build with HD0, but the HD0 freestyle video transmitter does not fit well into my frame, and that was the thing that kind of slowed me down in building it out. The 90 FPS camera is a total game changer for racing, but I keep coming back to that the range and penetration of the HD0 is not what I can get from something like DJI, and I go back and forth on which I care more about. I wonder if the new walk snail race mode is going to be the sweet spot where it doesn't have as good latency, but it has better latency. And it doesn't have as good, image quality, but it's good enough image quality. I don't know. I still think my tier list is DJI Walk Snail, then HD0, though, if I had to pick. And then analog is in there somewhere. I don't know where analog is. Let's see. Eric Ashner, thanks for a $2 super chat. What gear do you recommend for your 32S setup? Haha. No, I don't recommend that at all. Thank you, JB. You've gotten me back into FPV. Thanks for a $2 super chat, Ta token. David Barfield, thanks for a $5 super chat. My tiny trainer tilts right when pitching back. What do I troubleshoot next? I would test if the simulator does the same thing to see if there's a problem with your gimbal. That's what I would do. It feels like that might be a problem with your gimbal. The other thing I would do is I would tilt back slowly, and if it still pitches right or rolls right, then that's different than if you do an abrupt pitch back and it kind of goes. If you do an abrupt pitch back and it kind of goes, that could be a bad motor. But if it even happens when you do it slowly, that's the problem with your gimbal, probably. Peter Garcia, thanks for a $2 super chat. Goggles V2 OSD video doesn't work. What do I do? You have OSD, but your video doesn't work. Reseat the camera cable, both at the video transmitter and at the camera. Disconnect it and replug it. And if that doesn't fix it, try replacing the cable or replace the camera too. Mike Bergman, are you pretty happy with your Rotor Riot backpack after traveling with it? Yeah, so I did go on a trip. I traveled quite a lot, actually, during this time that I was gone. I had the Rotor Riot backpack with me the whole time. There are a few little nitpicks from living with it, but overall, I still, I got back from the trip and I thought, am I going to keep this backpack or am I going to get another one before my next trip? Am I going to try something different? And so far, I haven't decided to get another backpack. To either go back to the iFlight bag or to buy, there's a new Torval bag. It's like $300 freaking dollars. That looks interesting. I'm not sure what's up with this Torval. Look at this. Hold on, we got one more minute. But Ciati's not streaming. So I can go long if I want to. So Torval's got this freaking bag. Torval Quad Pitstop Backpack Pro Elite Edition. What's freaking elite about this? Now, don't get me wrong. Torval makes a great bag, but so here's the Pitstop Backpack Pro. Where's it? A Get FPV listing. Get FPV. Okay, race day quads will do. Here's the Pitstop Backpack Pro. Okay, $200. And what's different? Oh, come on. Give me the full image. Okay. So the Elite backpack is the exact same thing on the inside, as far as I can tell. It's identical. Right? Hang on. Right? The same. It's the same. As far as I can tell, it's the same. But the Elite backpack costs $300. And this one costs $200. So why is it $100 more? It's all black and it's got molly webbing. What do they know that I don't know? I don't know. It does look pretty sleek. I don't know if it's $100 more sleek. I considered getting it. I don't like strapping shit to the outside of my bag that much anyway, and the molly webbing, you could have battery straps and strap it on.
That top of that left bag looks scarily like pleather that's going to chip away in the sun when you use your bag
Doesn't
outside.
it? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Curtis Preston says, the Elite isn't hideous. That's what it is. The Elite is available without hideous green. For the privilege of not having hideous green, we charge you $100 more. I don't know, man. But I thought real hard about getting this bag because I could buy this bag and I could use it as an excuse to review it. And then I would be able to try it. But then I was like, this bag is just the Torvol bag without straps on the outside and in black. And if I was going to do that, why wouldn't I just go back to the iFlight bag, which is just the Torvol bag, but with a few little improvements that I liked. And then I was like, you know what? I'm sticking with the Rotor Riot bag. Because at the end of the day, I think the Rotor Riot bag has more room on the inside than the iFlight bag and the Torvol bag. I think it's got more room on the inside. Is that it? Is that all the pictures we get? I feel like we should get more pictures. I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but I think they do. I think you can get more shit into it. So there's a few little things that bug me about the Rotor Riot bag, but after I got back from this trip, I thought long and hard about whether I wanted to keep it or whether I wanted to switch to something else, and I ended up deciding to keep it. For now. Anyway, that's going to do it. Oh, no, we have more super chats. Thank you to $2 Canadian, Blizzard FPV, David Barfield, and Jonathan Severin Flood for 10 and 20 Norwegian kroner. Thank you guys so much for the super chats.
That popped up his question that John had one question real quick. Pablo Pico, question? Can I use 3S with it?
I don't know. Does Beta FPV say you can use 3S? I don't know the answer to that. Let's see what Beta FPV says. Like, the motors are made for 2S. I think you'd be... Well, the flight controller can handle 3S. But the motor KV, I think it's 16,000 KV. What's the KV of the motors? 14,000. 14,000 KV on 3S is a bit much. I don't think it would immediately blow up. It is supposed to be rated for 3S and 20 amps. But they suggest 2S. And I would be real careful if you tried 3S on the chance that you might like smoke a motor or over, I would be careful about that. David Barfield says he had a follow-up on his super chat, Blunty. Let's look for David Barfield's. David Barfield says, no problem with the gimbal in the sim or flying other quads. Okay. Is it an abrupt tilt, David, or is it gradual? I have to wait for David to answer. Yes. That doesn't give me the information I need. Is it abrupt or gradual? You have to say one of those words. Just saying yes doesn't. There's too much of a delay for that to be helpful. He typed yes as soon as he heard me say abrupt. I think yes means it was abrupt, because he would have typed yes as soon as he heard the word abrupt and not realized that I was then going to say or gradual. If it's abrupt, then I suspect the back right motor or ESC is having a problem.
Also, I would ask, is this an angle mode or acro? Right, because if it's tilting back in the wrong direction in angle mode, that might just be the accel or something, right?
I mean, yeah, I guess I assumed he said calibrated gyro. Is it in angle mode or acro mode? If it only happens in angle mode, it's your accelerometer. That's your calibration. It's your board alignment.
Right.
Yeah. He says it rolls right when he pitches back. That would be the back right motor, wouldn't it be? David Barfield says front right motor. I would think it would be the back right motor. Because it's rolling right. Well, it depends on if it happens at the beginning or end. Shit.
This might be a good time to remind people that they can email you.
Yeah.
And you're happy to go back and forth with them.
Yeah. David Barfield, email me and let's go over this. In the meantime, I am going to sign off. I will see you tomorrow for the FPV news. It's good to be back. I'm glad you guys are back. David Barfield says the left front spins up faster. How do you know that? How do you know it's not that the back right spins slower? Why would the left front spin faster? Unless you have a black box that shows the left front motor running higher, I don't think that's the likely explanation. I think that's just an assumption. Anyway, you should email me and we could talk about it. Bye, everybody. Blunty, thanks for being here. How was it for you, Blunty?
It was good. And we'll be back tomorrow for the FPV news for the first time in a while as well.
Yes, sir. We sure will. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next time. I am out of here. Bye, everybody.
Bye.